Brooke and Emily, a lot of people are having trouble making ends meet here in Detroit, elsewhere in the nation as well. You guys have kind of found a way to share expenses with some kind of communal living. Can you kind of explain what you're doing here?
Well, there's a large house and we have 8 bedrooms and there's 12 kids that live here, about, depending on the month.
Yeah.
And basically what we do is split costs so that we can live cheaper, and at this point it's like $65 in rent a month per person, and utilities is about 30 and cable's about 10.
How did you find one another?
Well, we all just know people. We're all friends of friends of friends.
And how did you find the house?
I came over here for a party once.
Yeah, she joined us later after the house. But one of the roommates found the house on Craigslist and called and said, hey, we're interested, and that's how we got the house.
This is, a lot of people don't know about this kind of communal living, but it's getting to be more and more popular here in Detroit.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of houses now coming up like ours. 2 alone in this neighborhood in the next month. So.
Some people actually go a step further. They're squatting in houses. You know about that as well?
Yes, I've squatted in houses a couple of different times.
I as well.
Yeah, and you just basically move in without anybody even knowing, and as long as you look like you live there, nobody asks questions.
Yeah.
You never have a problem with the cops when you do that?
I've never had a problem with the cops.
Cops come and go. They'll kick you out, but you can just go back later, and they'll come back and kick you out. And sometimes they're armed, thinking that this is a drug house. Sometimes they're not. It just depends on the situation and how rough the cops want to get.
I presume that technically you're violating zoning laws here. That's not much of a consideration either, I take it.
No, not at all. It doesn't matter what we do to this house.
So,
we built 2 different rooms, additions on here without permits?
Yeah,
Just to cope?
Yeah, we built rooms too.
right.
Basically, move people in to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
So when you have 10, 11, 12 people living together, does that sometimes cause for there to be conflict? How do you work everything out and divvy up all the chores and the costs of the food, things like that?
Well, everybody buys their own food.
Yeah. Bathroom is a little tight sometimes.
I mean, just basically, we do our own share of what needs to be done. Like, if there's dishes that need to be done, we do them. We don't let them sit around for a week. We clean the living room as much as possible.
Yeah.
We don't want the house to look dirty or be trashy while we live here.
Is this a matter of necessity or a matter of choice? Is it a lifestyle decision that you're making, or is it just because you're forced into this kind of communal living?
I enjoy it.
How's that?
I have fun living here. I moved out my parents' house 3 months ago, so it's better than living at my parents' house.
And how old are you?
20.
And do your parents know even where you're living?
Yeah, I think my mom does.
And
My dad hasn't come up here yet.
what are their thoughts about this? Do you know?
They're like, whatever.
And what about your family, Brooke?
This is definitely a necessity. I don't have anywhere else to go. I have to live here, or I live on the streets. I lived on the streets before I moved in. I'll probably live on the streets after I move out.
You want to go in?
Sure.
It's a little cold here. Let's go in. So this is the house, huh?
Yes.
You want to introduce me to the rest of the gang?
This is Dave,
Hey, Dave.
Karen, Brian, and Johnny.
I gotta ask, what are you using this for?